Hi, this is Mary Wood. Today we're going to be talking about the quadratic formula. We can take any quadratic equation in standard form, a times x squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and always solve the equation by using the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula says that your variable will be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all that divided by 2 times a. Let's do an example. Here we want to solve the quadratic equation. Notice this is in standard form because it's set equal to 0. I'm going to write out what my a and my b and my c are for this problem. The a is always the coefficient in front of the square term. So a is 1, b is negative 1, and c is negative 6. So we are just going to plug it in to our quadratic formula, and here's what x is going to be equal to. A negative 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a, which is 1. Notice it's very important to always put your negative numbers in parentheses. Let's start simplifying. I have 1 plus or minus the square root. Now, this calculation, the b squared minus 4ac underneath the root sign, is called the determinant. And we should always do that separately, and preferably on your calculator. So I'm going to bring my calculator up, and I'm going to type it in just pretty much the way I see this right here, using parentheses. Negative 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times a negative 6. Press enter, and I get the number 25. So I'm going to put my 25 under my radical over 2. Next, I'm going to simplify my radical. 1 plus or minus 5 over 2. Now here's where the plus or minus comes in. We really have two separate problems here. 1 plus 5 over 2 and 1 minus 5 over 2. So simplifying that, I have 6 over 2 and then negative 4 over 2. Simplifying those, here's what x is equal to. 3 and a negative 2. There are two solutions to this quadratic equation. Let's do example 2. This is another quadratic equation in standard form. I'm going to identify my a as 2, b negative 5, c negative 3. Now we can plug all of these into our quadratic formula and calculate our solutions. But let me show you on the calculator how it can help us do it. Alright, again I'm going to go to Programs, and notice number 5, I have a quad program. So I'm going to select 5, enter. If it's in standard form, all you need to do is put in your a, b, and c. 2 for a, negative 5 for b, and c, I'm sorry, that was a negative 3. We have to watch our signs. Negative 3. Okay, so my two solutions are 3 and negative 0.5. If you hit enter one more time, it will give me the answer in rational number form. 3 and negative 1/2. Let's do some more. Example 3. Now notice this quadratic equation is not in standard form. I need to add 1 to each side. Add 1 to each side to get 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. That way I can identify my A as 3, B as negative 2, and C as 1. Let's use our quad program again. Program 5, enter. A is 3, B is negative 2, and C is 1. Okay, so x, there are two solutions here. 1 plus I square root of 2 all over 3, and 1 minus I square root of 2 over 3. This is the answer I would have gotten by plugging it in and reducing. Example 4, A is 15, B is negative 75, and notice C is missing, so we're going to say it's 0. Program, quad, enter. A is 15, B is negative 75, and C is 0. Here are my two solutions. There are two solutions here, 5 and the number 0. Example 5, my A is 1, my B is missing this time, it's 0, and my C is 121. Let's do our program. Let's press enter one more time to get rid of this. Program quad, enter. A is 1, B is 0, C is 121. Here are my two solutions. Now I'm not going to bother to put the 0 on here. So I have 11i and negative 11i. It was a complex number. Okay, and one more problem. This is certainly not in standard form. What we need to do first is write it in standard form. So I'm going to distribute the 2x to get 2x squared plus 8x equals negative 3. But it's still not in standard form because I don't have 0 on one side. So I'm going to send this one over here and make it a plus. 2x squared plus 8x plus 3 equals 0. A is 2, B is 8, C is 3. Once again, we're going to use our quad program. A is 2, B is 8, C is 3. Now notice this time I got two decimal approximated numbers. Press enter one more time, and x is equal to negative 4 plus the square root of 10 over 2, and negative 4 minus the square root of 10 over 2 are our two exact solutions. Okay, so this was about our quadratic formula. Have a good day.